Hello, friends of S.A.L.A.M in the Holy Land. Thank you for joining me in today's episode. I would like to introduce you my friend who is a dear friend actually and a colleague in ministry here in the Galilee. His name is Majd and he's going to introduce himself. And in this interview, I would like to highlight one thing about the Arab Christians youth. And he's going to share some things about the Arab Christians youth and about his ministry. Good morning, Majd.
Good morning.
Majd, would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers today?
Sure. My name is Majd, and I was born and raised here in the Holy Land. I spent most of my life here, but I went to the U.S. for my education, seeking some help, mainly in learning about God, theology, and also being able to lead young people to Christ. So that's my focus. And currently, I'm in charge of youth ministry with the Association of Baptist Churches in the land.
What is your ministry in church?
In my local church, personally, I lead worship, and I'm also leading the youth ministry. But with the Association of Baptist Churches, bringing in together the youth leaders and putting together programs for the young people.
Majd, you mentioned that you traveled to the United States and you've seen the ministry over there, and you came back also and you've seen a major difference, a major gap between ministry with youth in the States, also a ministry here with youth in our local churches in the Galilee. Would you like to mention some of the challenges you noticed, or what is the gap between both segments?
This is really a big question. There's a lot that goes into it. One of the things is simply the social life, what's expected of young people and what not. Here, young people are expected to grow much faster, to be men much earlier than in the U.S. So in the U.S., people are taking things slowly. People understand them. There's more awareness about what young people go through. Another thing would be really the priority of the people. As Arab Christians, that puts us a minority of a minority of a minority in the land. And that means that you have to put up with language, you have to put up with social pressures, you have to put up with a lot of things that young people at times, if not, or without having the right direction or people to direct them, they will falter, they will make mistakes, they will find a gap that they will try to fill.
One of the things that we struggle as Arab Christians, especially the youth, which is immigration, and you probably heard a lot of experiences from some of your friends. Would you tackle the issue of immigration? Why Arab Christians youth, immigrate and leave the country, and say something about it?
Well, because it's easy. It's easier. For other groups of Arabs here in the land, they are more attached to the land because, according to their beliefs, when they defend their land, they're defending God. That's their duty, their religious duty. But to Christians, it's not the same. It's different. For Christians, it's easier to go somewhere else and live the good life, the easy life, than to have to go through all the struggles that they face over here with discrimination and whether it's political or religious, and also, simply put, making money.
So seeking better education, better life, and that's what most of Arab Christians youth leave. I would like you to mention to some of our viewers right now that they're hearing for the first time probably that you're hearing the Arab Christian youth speak and you're hearing their voices. Would you tackle some of your personal challenges as a minister? You're ministering with music, worship in your church, and also with youth. I would like you to say something to our viewers. What is the main challenges for you in ministry?
Well, one of the main challenges, one of the main reasons why I had to go to the U.S., that is to gain knowledge in youth ministry that I'll be able to come back here and pass it on. I grew up in a church that did not have youth ministry at all. That's what created hunger in me for youth ministry. So what we really need, first of all, is leaders. We need equipped leaders, leaders that are ready to lead young people to Christ, follow up with them, and be disciples and make disciples mainly, as my professors used to say. So that's the main thing. Another thing would be resources. We have few resources in Arabic that would address the struggles that young people go through. I have at least 20 books about youth ministry that I brought back from the U.S., but instead of that, or to match that in Arabic, I mainly have one book that I can refer to in Arabic, unfortunately. The main challenge is to help the church also and the leaders in it to give something to the young people to make them stick. One of the things I learned is that in order to make a young person stay in the church or with a youth group, you have to provide them with love, acceptance, and belonging. And the community here, the social life does not easily provide love to young people because they're supposed to be tough. So acceptance, that is something that they will always try to seek with their peers. It's hard because their peers find their acceptance with the world. And as Christians, they have different values that don't match, and they don't have that big of a Christian community around them to be accepted within. And belonging, that's probably a big thing, to feel that they belong in the church. So all these together are obstacles, but one step at a time we'll be able to overcome them.
Indeed, and my friends, I got you used to some of my endings to these episodes, which is I would like my guest, to address you personally, and I would like to ask Majd if you want to, address the viewers today. How can they help you? What they can do for you as Arab Christians youth, and your challenges, what they can pray for you.
Well, one of the things that really help is for young people here to be connected with people in the U.S. I know when volunteers come over and help with camps in the church, they really love connecting with, let's say, American young people, with Canadian young people, with people from elsewhere. They just love that. So if you connect with the young people here, they will love that. They will be encouraged, that they will have this community that is intercontinental from here and also around the world. And please pray for young leaders to come about, to have the desire in their hearts to grow. And that is basically it. Once you have leaders, one thing will follow the other, and will be it. So please pray for us. Pray for the youth ministry.
Thank you, Majd. Really appreciate all your insight. It's really helpful, and I hope it was really helpful for you, my friends, as you heard the Arab Christians youth voice in this segment. And I really encourage you to pray for Majd and his ministry. Pray for the Arab Christians youth leaders, that indeed they need a lot of support, a lot of prayers, a lot of resources, as you heard from Majd, of his music ministry and also with the youth ministry. I hope that this was very beneficial for you as an insight, and I hope you back us up as Arab Christians youth together. Majd, me, and the guy, even the photographer, he's involved even in ministry, in worship. So we appreciate your prayers indeed. I hope that was really helpful for you today, and thank you for joining me in today's episode. God bless you. Till we hear from you back again. S.A.L.A.M.